an app called Restream, and now they just recently added Restream Live for TikTok. So now, if this works, I should be able to do Restream on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Facebook. And I have 3 Facebook channels that it's going live to. So I'm going to do an experiment and see how it turns out. Let me know what you think. And it's a much higher definition camera, so I notice all my wrinkles a lot more than I did before. My wife's laughing in the background. She thinks she's so funny. Actually, she is funny and adorable. So here we are in Las Vegas, Nevada. And there's a friend of mine who does a lot of TikTok videos that he and I interact on TikTok. And on Wednesday, I'm going to meet with him and we're going to have a talk. And maybe I can coax him into doing a TikTok live or a Facebook live or something live together, the two of us. We don't necessarily agree on all of our theology, but we have a lot of fun together. He's spirit-led, filled with the spirit of the living God, really fun guy. I don't want to say who he is yet until we have a chance to talk about it. So this Torah portion that we're starting this week is Vayikra. Vayikra. What that means in Hebrew is he called. Who called? Well, God is calling. Hashem, the Most High, is calling his people. And he gives us the book of Leviticus. That's what we say in English. The original Hebrew name is Torat Kohanim. Torat Kohanim. And what does that mean? That means instructions of the priests. And that's what I love about this is once we realize what some of the biblical meaning is of these words and these symbols, these imageries in the Bible, a whole new level opens up to us. We begin to see things in a way we've never seen them before. So I'm experimenting with a different view here, and I'm not sure I'm comfortable with it. Let me switch that. That might be a little bit better. So that's Vayikra, and it also was originally titled, it's the third book from Moses. It's called Torat Kohanim. Torat means instructions in Hebrew. Kohanim means of the priests. So this was the instructions for the priests. The detail was the type of offerings involved in worship of God in the tabernacle, in the Mishkan, and later in the temple, the Beis HaMikdash. And the roles and functions of the Kohanim, or the priests, are further explained here. The Kohanim carried out the offerings, and the Levi'im, the Levites, cared for the physical structure and the grounds of the tabernacle, and then later the ensuing temple. There's an entire chapter that concerns us on how to observe Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Guess what that is in what we think of in Christian circles? That's the Great White Throne Judgment, the Day of Atonement. Also explained in other books as appointed times. That Israel was to celebrate annually. Towards the end of the book, in the short section pronounced covenants and curses, or covenantal curses, a short expert that pronounces covenantal curses, should Israel turn away from God. We learn of a horrendous skin disease and its treatment. That's what we call leprosy, but in Hebrew it's a different name. We'll go over that when we get there. And it's talks about how the leprosy comes about, what causes it, and what the cure is for it on a supernatural level. It's fascinating once we get to that point. You'll be surprised and impressed. The Lashon Hara, and the which means the evil tongue, and the Rechalit, the tail bearing, creates this leprous type of disease amongst the Israelites. And there's a foundation for what we think of as kosher dietary laws, or eating biblically clean is the foundation for that here in Leviticus, and business practices, how to deal fairly with people. And it's thought that James, the brother of Yeshua, the Messiah, Yaakov is his name in Hebrew, taught on the themes of Leviticus and may have been teaching on it when he wrote the Epistle of James. Ooh, that's so fascinating. It helps us understand so much. In this array of instructions that deal with life of Israel and the common features and the leadership roles of the Kohanim, the Levi'im at the tabernacle, and later in the temple, and in society at large. This book, now this is important to pay attention to, the book of Leviticus, Vayikra, or Torat Kohanim, allows the Levites and the Kohens to understand their proper role in Israel as teachers of the Torah, the employees in the tabernacle, and doing physicianal type work as an ad hoc physician. Sometimes they were called upon to help people recover from certain illnesses. So why is that important for us to think about? Well, when you think about if James was teaching from the book of Leviticus when he penned the letter, the book of we call James, or Yaakov is actually his name, then that begins to help us understand a whole lot of different things that he was meaning and saying. And then we recognize that this Torat Kohanim, the instructions for the priests, was how they were to teach the Israelites the Torah. And what do we find in the New Testament and the Brit Hadashah? We find some interesting information. Have you ever noticed, this is going to bother you when I say it, have you ever noticed that the term rabbi and synagogue are nowhere in the Old Testament? Nowhere. They don't exist. Not at all. That's a historical invention that came up long after the Torah portion. So it's something to think about, how long after the Torah was developed. Something to think about. We'll discuss more as we get into this. So this week, God willing, I'm going to take some time. We're going to do some teachings here from Las Vegas and do some fun things tonight. My wife and I are going to go see the show Sphere, where you get inside this giant ball. It's a giant theater, basically, super intense light, super intense sounds and everything else. And we're going to watch something called Postcards from Earth. So that's going to be lots of fun. So, and then we went to do one of the timeshare things for a couple $100. They pay you to sit through their timeshare speech. And of course, the gentleman that I sat with was a former Israeli citizen living here in the US. And we had some wonderful talks about his experiences growing up. So anyway, I just want to check and make sure this works. And once I get past the 5-minute mark, we'll be able to dice it up and make some other material out of it. Only I haven't been keeping track of how long I've been doing it for. Here we are. Oh, 7 minutes. Okay, so we're past 5 minutes. And this picture behind me makes a great backdrop, I think. The colors go well with my shirt. It's an aloe plant, I think. And then the Fibonacci code is always encoded in all the pictures in this room. Super wild, super interesting stuff. So anyway, I hope you're having a blessed day. Keep praying, keep seeking the Lord, keep following him with your whole heart. And don't lean on your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will definitely make your path straight. So shalom aleichem, my friends. Have a blessed day, and we will catch you on the flip.